In the Unresolved Problem segment tonight, the Journal News. It's a New York area newspaper. It's facing intense criticism after the outfit posted a map on its website showing the names and addresses of local gun permit holders. Since posting the database, the paper has been inundated with complaints. But is there any legal recourse for these folks? Joining us now from Los Angeles, attorney Anahita Sedaghatfar, and from New York, criminal defense attorney Steve Greenberg. Okay, kids, this thing about the gun permit holders, this kind of thing drives me nuts because we did some looking into this. We can't find any record, I'll start with you, Steve, of this newspaper, for instance, publishing the names of sex offenders or their addresses, right? Those people actually committed crimes. These people own guns. They're legally permitted to do so. What do you say about this?
Well, I think it's irresponsible. There's no real reason for it other than to put these people on some kind of map, and I understand their outrage. It may be legal and lawful to share this kind of public information, but it's clearly irresponsible because these people now are going to be subject to potentially thieves coming into their houses, taking their guns, targeting them, and so forth. And the newspaper's reasoning, well, it's because of what happened in Newton, Massachusetts, or Newtown,
Connecticut.
Newtown, Connecticut, right, I'm sorry. It makes no sense because had someone known that the lady had 18 guns, there still were no red flags. There's no connection between gun ownership and the kinds of things they're trying to target.
Let me simplify this for you, and I'll go to Anahita on this. Let me simplify this. This newspaper, the News Journal, I've never read it, never heard about it before, but apparently it is a newspaper, and it does have some circulation. It has an anti-gun agenda. It doesn't believe people should really own guns, and it thinks people who own guns or have permits to own guns are probably a bunch of, knuckle-dragging yahoos. That's what I imagine the editors of this newspaper think. That's why they decided to put their cute little map irresponsibly on their website, which is just a finder's mission for anyone who wants to rob a house. Well, I'm not going to go to that house, but I'll go to Granny's house down the road because she's apparently doesn't have a weapon. Go ahead.
I agree with you. I agree that not only is this irresponsible, it's dangerous. Now, I support the Freedom of Information Act, which is the basis by which the newspaper got the names and addresses of these individuals, but that should not be trumped by common sense. There's absolutely no legitimate basis other than what you stated for the newspaper to have published this information, and it's a danger to society, and I believe that there should be legal recourse. And
where's the ACLU? Where's the ACLU on this, Steve or Anahita? Have they come out and said anything?
I haven't seen. Go ahead.
I haven't seen the ACLU.
Deafening silence.
Exactly, but I support Senator Ball's legislation that he's trying to get passed that would ensure that in the future, information contained on these gun permit applications remain private.
Well, to me, it's beyond irresponsible. This is agenda-driven reporting, and it's clearly an intimidation tactic against anyone who is a lawful gun owner. That's a lawful act to own a gun, to have a permit to do so, different types of permits in New York. It's a lawful act. That's an act of pure intimidation. I think it is abominable, and I hope people watching this make their views heard to this News Journal newspaper and any advertisers that support it, frankly. I find it to be incredibly outrageous. Let's go to this other case that's a little more goofy, but still has a legal implication. ACLU also should call their offices about that News Journal case. But the Iowa case involves a dentist, Steve, who fires his assistant. And he fires her assistant because she amounts to, well, an attractive nuisance. The term attractive nuisance means something else in the law, but we'll use that to apply to her because she was very beautiful, and he thought she could potentially be a problem with his wife. He found her attractive, so he fired her. The Iowa Supreme Court said no problem.
Right, and the problem with this is they're sort of splitting hairs, which is what lawyers and judges do for a living. She was only attractive because she was a female, so what they should have focused on was the fact she got fired because she was a female, and that is actionable. I think that the court came down wrongly on this case because, his wife said, fire her, I think you're going to be attracted to her, and that's because she's a female.
Well, but Steve, I
do
think
that.
if she were a female and weighed 400, I mean, God bless her. I mean, she might not have been an attractive nuisance. I mean, so I don't think it's just that she's a female, right? I mean,
Well, but
not that
that's
Big is
why he
beautiful too,
found
but I'm
her-
just saying he found her especially attractive.
Well, that's why he found her
Exactly.
attractive,
But
because
not-
she was a female.
Well, but he could have found her attractive because she was because it was a male too, right? Because that could happen as well. So,
But you can't discriminate on gender.
Okay, and we got to go, guys. We're out of time. I'm sorry, Anahita, but counselors, we appreciate it, and we come right back. The GOP in an intense